Welcome back to Houston Life. National Infertility Awareness Week is underway, and for many families in our community, this is a time to feel less isolated and find support in your journey trying to conceive.
It's such a personal journey, and that's the case for Kelley Ramsey, a Woodlands woman who co-wrote a brand new book called Waiting in Hope after her own struggles with infertility. And as you probably guessed, she's joining us now in studio. Welcome to the show, Kelley.
Thanks.
So let's talk about the book and this process, because as we've established, infertility, trying to get pregnant is such a big deal. It's a personal journey. Were you hesitant to share your story so publicly?
Oh yeah. I started blogging back in the day. That wasn't a thing. When we were early in our stage of trying, because I just felt isolated. And it was like my way of talking about it without telling everyone I knew. And then it became something that got shared. And then I was like, oh, people are going through this and they need to hear other voices. And that's really where it started. We tried for about 3 years to get pregnant, tried lots of different treatments and lots of different ways, actually had a cancer scare. And it was just, honestly, it was about us sharing. About us finding community and sharing and finding others who were going through it, who were hiding at the time.
You know, as Derrick and I quickly touched on at the top of the show, everybody's journey is different, but some of the questions that you get when you're trying, when you're not trying, it really kind of puts a damper on the whole process. And then for you to get unexpected or bad news makes things even harder.
Yeah, the conversation of, do you want to have kids? Are you trying? How many kids do you want? You know, when you meet someone, that's your first, hi, you know, instead of tell me a little bit about yourself, it's, do you have kids? Are you married? And that's hard, right? For a lot of us. So.
What has the response been, not only to the book, but also to your Waiting in Hope Infertility Support Ministries? You founded along with your husband, Justin.
Yes.
Did you find that, as you mentioned, the blog started being posted and reshared and spread like wildfire? Have you found that people have just come out of the woodwork saying, hey, this was my experience too?
Oh, yeah. I mean, from all over the country, all over the world. I mean, we have UK people asking us, we need support. I want this book now. It's been beautiful to see, because when I went through it 10 plus years ago, nobody was talking.
Right.
Now we have celebrities, now we have people sharing and it's coming out, but there was nothing. There was nothing like a companion to walk through it with you. There was no friends really. We were all hiding in isolation. And so the more we've talked about it, the more it's been out there in the public. I'm just so thankful because it's been shared about more. Now, more or less are alone.
Yeah, well, let's talk a little bit about the book, Waiting in Hope. You have co-wrote with Jen Hesse. What are some of your key/favorite takeaways from the book?
I think the biggest one is, number one, it's all grief. Infertility is grief. Grief of your dreams, loss of your expectations, grief of how long it's taking. So grieving that's key. Two is that a family can already be just two of you.
Right.
I think that's really key, and I think we forget that you have that first. That's first and foremost. And then I would say community, we just talked about. You need people to go through this alone. You can't go through cancer alone. And this is very much similar in the grief and the struggle physically, emotionally, your body's taking a toll, your finances, it's very similar.
Yeah, I'm glad you said finances, because this process can also be very expensive and scary. It seems like shame is also wrapped up in a lot of this. And a lot of people, we might say as an outsider, well, how could someone feel shameful that they are unable to conceive? I mean, back in the day, we know what happened to Henry VIII's wives. If they couldn't conceive back in that time, that was considered a woman's role.
Right.
But is part of the takeaway that you are, as you mentioned, a whole person, even if you cannot have a child?
Yeah, I think a lot of the things we address in the book, and also just in some of the work we do within our community groups, is that it is not part of your identity. Because I think sometimes as a woman, we think, well, I'm made to do that.
Right.
And I think that was probably the hardest thing for me to work through, is I'm already perfectly made, but there are things that I'm medically going through. That it's a medical diagnosis. Even if you're unknown infertility, it's still a medical diagnosis, even though you don't have answers. Right. And so that helps to know that you are going through something just hard.
So for people who pick up the book and they take a read, what are some tips that you can tell them to stay positive throughout this journey, this process? Because it can be a lengthy one with many ups and downs.
Yeah, I would say the community is what really does help you, because you find other people who are going through it. You can ask those hard questions. They know what those days look like, or those periods that start, or those, treatments that don't work, or whatever it may be. So that's key. And then honestly, having family members read things like this, like my dad just read it for the first time, and he's like, I didn't know what you were going through.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
And so because the emotions are talked about. And so then he's like, that makes sense why you were so upset, or why you were, you took offense really easily, or why you didn't want to come to things. It opened his eyes. So I think us reading it as community who's supporting people is really, really good.
And you make the point of adoption as well, which I think is such an important point, because we know that today, in today's world, families come in all different forms. And as you established, even if it's just two spouses, that is still a family. Can we talk about your family today before we're out of time?
Yeah, we are in the process of adopting. We have two wonderful boys. We struggle to have both of them. And we really thought we'd have a bigger family, and it's just been in timing, and so
Beautiful, beautiful
Congratulations.
family.
Thank you.
Gorgeous family.
Our boys really want an adopted baby, so we're waiting until that happens.
Absolutely. Well, best
Very
of luck.
nice. Kelley
Thank
Ramsey,
you.
thank you so much. Thanks for coming by Houston Life and for sharing your story.
Thank you.
I hope it helps a lot of people. I know it already has. And a reminder that Waiting in Hope is available now everywhere books are sold. If you would like to connect with Kelley, you can visit our website, HoustonLife.tv. Just look for that scene on Houston Life section.